In this video, we'll take a deep dive into the left menu, where you'll manage your images, albums, and settings. This is your central hub for navigating PictureStudio efficiently. Let's get started. First, let's take a look at the Inbox workspace. The inbox is where all your imported and scanned images appear by default. You'll notice that the top portion of the Inbox and Albums section remains the same, only the lower section changes depending on the selected workspace. This top section contains 4 important tools: Import Photo, Scan, Settings, represented by the gear icon, and the search box. Clicking Import Photo opens a standard Windows file selection menu. Here you can choose one or multiple images to import. Once you've made your selection, click Open to begin the import process. When the import is complete, a progress bar will indicate 100%. Click Done to finalize the process. If any of the selected files are already found in your inbox or albums, you'll see 3 options: Add to keep both versions, Replace to overwrite the existing file, and Cancel to discard the duplicate. Next is the Scan button, which is used to activate the scanner when it is not in auto scan mode. We'll cover this function in more detail in a later video. Moving to the Search field, it functions just as you'd expect. Simply type a keyword, and PictureStudio will filter your results in real time. Clicking the Settings, represented by the gear icon, opens a menu where you can fine-tune scanning and import preferences. Let's go over each option. Scan Destination. Choose where scanned and imported photos are saved. You can choose between the inbox or any existing album. You can also choose to create a new album and select that as the destination. Resolution, used to set the level of detail for scanned images. Choices are either 300 dpi or 600 dpi. Color mode, you can choose between full color or grayscale. D-Streak, your options are to either enable or disable this function. D-Streak automatically removes unwanted streaks and other imperfections from scanned images for improved clarity. This option can also be set in the main settings menu, which we will cover shortly. Batch tagging. This option enables or disables tagging multiple images at once. This can also be toggled in the global header and main settings page. Two-sided scanning. Enable this to scan both sides of a photo and link them together in PictureStudio. This is another setting that can also be found on the main settings page and the global header. Carrier sheet mode. Enabling this activates additional sensing when scanning delicate or odd-shaped photos using a carrier sheet. Now, let's get back to the Inbox workspace. As we mentioned earlier, the inbox is the default destination for all imported and scanned images. It has 2 primary features: filtering and image selection. Filtering options. When you click the filter icon, you have the option to filter images in 4 categories: All, Photos, Slideshows, and Collages. All shows all photos, slideshows, and collages. Photos displays only image files. Slideshows lists your saved slideshows. Collages displays saved collages. Each filter can be further sorted by recent, oldest, or a date range. The other feature of the inbox is Select mode. Click Select to enable batch selection, allowing you to choose multiple or all images with a single click. Now we're moving on to the Albums workspace. The Albums workspace shows existing albums and includes the Add Album button for creating new collections. Opening an album displays stored images. Here, you can mark images as favorites, making them easily accessible in the Favorites workspace. The Favorites workspace is very similar to the inbox, except that it's pre-filtered to show only those photos that you have previously marked as favorites. The filter and select features we saw earlier are available here as well. Now let's take a look at the main settings workspace, where you can adjust scanning preferences, application behavior, and general settings to fit your workflow. Under Scanner Settings, you'll find options like File Format, allowing you to save your scanned images in PNG, JPEG, or BMP. You can also adjust the resolution, choosing between 300 dpi or 600 dpi, and set your scan color to color or grayscale. To help enhance image quality, you can enable Auto Enhance, which automatically improves faded or aged photos. For scanning efficiency, you have the option to toggle Auto Scan, so PictureStudio will begin scanning as soon as a photo is inserted. Auto crop and disque help by detecting edges and straightening images automatically. Additionally, you can enable batch tagging, which allows you to tag multiple images at once. This can also be toggled in the global header and inbox settings. To further refine image quality, reduce lines and streaks, also known as de-streak mode, can be enabled or disabled. Like batch tagging, this setting is also accessible from the global header and inbox settings. If you are scanning delicate or irregularly shaped items, you can activate carrier sheet mode, which provides additional sensing and support when using a protective carrier sheet. Finally, to ensure optimal scan quality, there's a calibrate and clean function designed to work with the calibration and cleaning sheets provided with your scanner. In application settings, you can enable auto update to keep the PictureStudio application up to date. Auto backup allows you to schedule regular backups of your photo albums to either OneDrive or Dropbox. If you work with decorative image frames, you can manage them under Manage Frames. If you prefer a different language or date format, you can adjust those settings here as well. Additionally, enabling tooltips provides helpful on-screen hints as you navigate the software. If needed, you can restore all settings to their default values using the Reset to Default button. Lastly, under License Key and About Us, you can manage your software activation and view PictureStudio's copyright and version information. Now, let's take a closer look at the Sharing Settings workspace, where you can set up and manage how your scanned and imported images are shared. PictureStudio allows you to share images directly via email or upload them to popular social media platforms, including Facebook, Pinterest, and Flickr. To configure sharing for these platforms, simply click the Configure button next to each service and follow the prompts to link your account. In addition to social media, PictureStudio supports cloud-based file sharing services such as OneDrive, Google Drive, and Dropbox. If you enable OneDrive or Dropbox here, these services will also be available for use with the auto backup feature mentioned previously. For any service that has already been linked, you'll see an option to log out, allowing you to disconnect the service if needed. Any service that is disabled can be activated at any time by toggling it on and configuring the necessary credentials. The Ideas workspace is for submitting feedback and suggestions. This is not where you request support. The Support workspace provides multiple resources, including phone support, a support request form, scanner setup hints, FAQs in a searchable knowledge base, and access to our user guides. Finally, the Trash workspace displays all deleted images and albums. You can filter the list to include images, albums, or both. You first select the objects you want. Then you can choose to restore or permanently delete them.